Three, two, one, and we're live. Hi, it's me, she, guys. I am back on this September 16th. It's a Wednesday, 2020. It's this two-day. Twos are choices. You have a choice, this or that, this way, that way. Today also, I have pre-shuffled some cards. And in the sake of time, and then we will go into our original cards, which are the Oracle Mystical Shaman cards. So in the meantime, we're going to get started with our Oracle of Seven Energies by Colette Baron. The card that came up for this energy is a 4. 4 was last week, which is stability. This card goes with I'm going to go to the other cards that kind of, you know what, I'm going to back it up a minute before I do this energy, which is our third eye. I'm going to do this because then actually that card goes into those other ones. So I shuffled a deck called Gateway to the Divine by Ciro Machete. I love his artwork. I've already pre-done the cards, so we're going to just start right there. Our first card is Coin. Beautiful artwork. It's a number 7. We know that 7s are confident. So if you look in this card of coins or pinnacles or earth, it also represents the energy of earth. If we are in an energy of earth, we are talking about to have material, money, family, our security, that unshakable stability. So if you look at this card, you see 7 coins rooted in the tree. We've been talking about our roots and how we get our ground nourished for 2020, this ugly year. And how do we get to a point where our harvest is ready to bear its fruits? So you see she's standing there with quite a confidence, with a smirk on her face, even though that basket she's carrying is either we are getting ready to harvest or we are in patience that our harvest isn't quite ready to be plucked. And right now, talking about choices, those are your choices. Where are you? Are you ready to harvest, fill your bucket, or do you need to still have a little bit more patience so those coins can grow? Or are you pretty stable, unshakable, stable where your harvest is right now? So I would bet we're talking about choices. Everyone has a choice. You are where you are. The other card that came out was an 8 of Swords. We also know when we're talking about swords, we're talking about the element of air. And I should have told you before, an earth card with the first card that we have of coins, the 7 of coins in earth. The earth signs of the zodiac are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So now we have swords. Swords are air element. So it's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And so when we're in a number 8 energy, we are moving forward. And if you can see in this card, the artwork of this, the beauty of this card, I try to set up the light so you can really get into these cards and the beauty of the artwork, because the artwork are an archetype that helps us see the divine at work. So in this card, she's stuck in like a web. Do you see the web? You see the web, and she has like a bondage or a bandage wrapped around her eyes and her body, protecting her most sensitive areas. And then you have 8 swords coming in all directions, but they are very close. So if she was to try to wrestle herself out of this web, it could cause those swords to come in and pierce her body and cause blood. We don't want that. So again, choices. So as an air element, that means she's stuck in her thoughts. She's stuck in a place of, what should I do? How should I move forward? But whatever you do right now in this September with Mars retrograde and all of these other planets swarming around that hasn't been here. Some of them haven't been here for 12 years. Some of them haven't been here for 200 years. Some of them haven't been here for 50 years. So it's been a long time that we've been in this place of energy, this place of what we are calling an uncomfortable moment in time, where we have to endure the messiness of 2020. And so in order to do that, we have to use our thoughts very, very careful. We really need to know where we are and be patient in the thought process of how we're going to execute through September. So when October comes around, when we really start, when that harvest time really starts to come in, but you want to be patient. Because if you're not patient and if you don't choose wisely in the choices that you're faced with right now, it could be very painful. The Sword. Our next card is the Knight of Coins. This card is an earth card. It doesn't have so much of a number. If we think of the traditional looking tarot deck, these are the court cards. And so the court cards are archetypes of persons, of humans. And each of us carry multiple archetypes or multiple parts do we play in the royal court of our lives, because we all have a kingdom. And so in this kingdom, here with the Knight of Coins, again, we are on the earth element. We're in the Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo energies. And so with those energies and looking at this card, the card is green. The earth is in its finest beauty. His helmet is golden green. And then he has those horns, you would almost say the horns that are depicted in the Devil card, which has that Satan-like figure, or the horns of the ram, or the horns of a bull, or the horns of a goat, meaning we're full of life. The horses here are a symbol of vitality, strength, a masculine, a powerful energy. And so that means patience, but with strength, you will get through. So think of the mountain goat, as in Capricorn, the goat, steady, patiently, step by step, climbing the mountain. But wherever he needs to defend his hard work, you go back to Taurus. Taurus are very passionate, when you talk about that bull, but they're not very practical because they're romantic, they're homestead. And so when you have the elements of Virgo along with the earth signs, you're talking about there could be some perfectionist elements that are hindering you, because it's never enough. You have to know when it is coming to fruition. Where are you in your growth? Where are you in your harvest? Are you ready to do what is necessary? Do you have the steadfastness of a bull to go through, plow through, get it done, so you can be prepared like the horses to either frolic, kind of horse around, play around, but with strength, and be ready and prepared to take charge as a knight would in the court. The knight holds the court up when it comes to battle, when it's supporting the king and the queen. The knight will get it done. The knight is the royalty of the court, that the king and the queen says, we need this to happen, and the knight will go out and make it come to fruition. So you should be in that place where you have those steadfast tools right now. You've made those choices of getting rid of or clearing out so that the weeds don't choke the grass around you, so that the trees and your roots are healthy and vibrant. Our next card is the Queen of Cups, and she is beautiful. So the Queen of Cups, when we talking about choices, she's like a mermaid. She lives under the water. And if you look at those koi fish, they're beautiful, they're gold. They are wrapped around her fingers, so to say. It's as if she is controlling the flow of her life. She's controlling everything around her, even the abundance of the sea. She has it all under her control. Her pearls are symbolism of the moon. So there's a mystery there. There's secrets there underneath the sea, but she has it all in control. Her dress is like the seaweed that floats through the water, but it's providing her with coverage, so she is not exposed, or she's not exposing whatever she does not want you to see. So the Queen of Cups is water. Our water elements are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So when you think of those emotions, they could either be we just had Hurricane Sally come in yesterday and still today, tearing up havoc. But this Queen of Cups, even when Sally comes in with all her wrath of her water and her emotions, she is still in flow. She can fly and flow with the current in the water. I told you guys last week I had a tragic situation happen to me that happened with water. So over the Labor Day weekend, I went to the beach just to get away, to find serenity, walk along the sand, and be into meditative deep thought, and actually enjoy the beauty of the sun, as well as it was a beautiful, magnificent weekend, like 80, 85 degrees. And so I was walking along the edge of the water, like you see here on the picture. I was walking along the edge of the sand, just enough so that the waves at the time, as they were coming up, they were kind of washing up just below my knees, and then the water would come back out. Well, out of nowhere, I was standing there looking out into the ocean, and a huge wave. And as I was trying to turn around to go back into higher ground of the sand, my feet were sinking into the sand. The next thing I know, this wave came over my head and knocked me out. That's how much pressure that water was. It completely knocked me off my feet. And I don't remember anything after that until I was in the water face down. I remember thinking to myself, what just happened? I'm in trouble. And just then a voice said, relax, do not panic, and float. And I remember nothing else. And the next thing I know, long story short, I survived. I was, awoken many minutes later, with people standing around me who were rescuing me. And and you can see the sheer horror on their face because they believed I had died. So we're going to keep going with the reading, but I didn't want to talk about it last week because I'm still trying to heal my lungs, and my body's all beat up and bruised as well, from the whole situation, the incident. But I also was mourning and wanted to give reverence to the victims of 9/11 because my situation can in no comparison compare to the events of 9/11. So I did not want to discuss it. Then I wanted us to be in those energies and be able to stay focused and keep moving. And that's what we're going to do. But I wanted to let you know that water, the elements that we talk about, which is fire, water, earth, and air, when those elements are not in balance in our life, they will come into your life with unexpected power and completely wipe you out. And that is what happened to me. And I'm actually writing a whole story about the events and what occurred after that, what happened in the whole process. So hopefully I can get that writing down and get that story out there, because it's not something that we can do in our energy reading, but it's something that it can bring about a transformation. And I've had these moments throughout my life where I was temporarily taken and meeting, higher spiritual beings, and them having conversations with me and then sending me back. So our next card in this group of the Divine Gateway Tarot cards by Ciro Marchetti is a number 4, which is, we've been having these fours last time, fours, and it was 7, 7, 7s. And these are all angel numbers. And 4s are a sign that we are on the right path. You see the clock, 2:44, 3:44, 4:44. You see, a receipt, $40.44 or $4.44. Those numbers keep coming up. Those are reminders. Think about what you were thinking at the time that you noticed those numbers. Think about what was happening in your thought process. If you wake up and you look at the clock and it says 2:44, 4:44, 12:44, think about try to grasp that dream quickly as possible. This card is, again, it's swords. So the swords are air, the element of air. And in this beautiful card, you have this image of a masculine figure at rest. So he has the 4 pillars, like he's in the bed, but he's actually sleeping on 4 swords that are planted down in the earth. So in the underworld is rooted, but they're rooted in an alchemy process where they're holding him up where he can be at rest. And above him, there's a hawk or a raven, a black bird. That is a symbol of death. But the more intricate part of this photo, of this piece of artwork, is the stained glass window. That is the symbol for Christ. It is the Greek word chairo, which is for Christ. That means he is in peace right now. The red poppy flower, you see the 2 flowers, the red and the white. The red is for the blood of Christ and the white is for the resurrection. So guys, again, These cards are an extenuation of the reading I had last week. And if you didn't get a chance to read that reading, go and read that reading. There's a beautiful blue flower that is the outer picture of that reading that really goes into depth. And we're going to see where we are now and if our Charming cards are still moving us in this energy of September, where we are basically taking a breath, stepping back, and revisiting or reviewing our life. We're taking accountability. We are looking at and looking around to see where there are people, things, items, places, employers that no longer will serve us on our next journey, on our moving forward for 2021. And it may not be what you're thinking about right now, but some things are going to happen so that we can be put on track for that destiny's call. Look at it as a movie. And the movie of 2020 came in January with coronavirus. It came in with, here in the United States, the political beings. It was impeachment. And those fights are still continuing amongst our political parties. That is interfering with the people. And so the greed, the trajectory of how we have been as humans here on God's beautiful earth is changing. It is shifting. And so if you are in flow with the shift, if you get knocked out by a big wave that come and knock you off your feet, it came in because it came with a message. And I got the message loud and clear. Because it's about moving you. It's about giving you the keys or setting you up on the right direction. And I'm going to go back to this card that I started with and put down, which is a 4. And 4 is stability. It is the correct path. And this card says the land between. And so if you look at it, there's like a piece of the earth has been plucked out. And the only way to the other side is, do you see these bridges that leads into the middle way and to the middle land? And this middle land is the third eye, the Anjana third eye chakra, or the spiritual eye. It is the ability to see, but you can't see unless you're standing in the middle and you're looking in imagination that you have this purpose, this destiny, this clarity of purpose, of knowing that you are about to walk from one world and to the next. And that exactly this card is showing us exactly what's happening in 2020. We are in the middle world. We are right in the middle of time. We are, and it's going to be messy. You can't endure and have beauty without unknown and the uncomfortable. So right now we're in the middle. We're in the uncomfortable place. And so as we choose choices, this way or that way, do we stay on this side or do we take the walk and move forward. Because if we turn around to go back, and that was what I was trying to do in the water, I was trying to turn around and go back, but my feet started to sink in the ground, because to go back means it will be harder to look back and go back. But I needed to continue going forward, to stay on the path. Number 4, on the path of stability. Energizing our cards is this beautiful crystal. It's purple, amethyst, and it is to see the third eye that sits right between our eyebrows and just up to the middle between the top of the hairline, and right in the middle just before you reach the eyebrow area, right in the middle. If that area has been fluttering, itching, making all kinds of symphony music, like little beats, in that area, that means your third eye is trying to awaken. And if you want to continue to be able to see, to be able to have that imagination and that clarity of knowing, when you get to the other side, that it's going to be okay, that you have faith, and that Christ has you between his blood and his light of rebirth. Guys, I'm telling you, 2021, it's like 2020 is just the previews. We haven't even really started the movie yet. We're still waiting for the movie to begin. 2021, the movie will begin. And once the movie begins, it's got to have a beginning. It has to have a middle, a build-up, a suspense. And a good movie has laughter, sadness, where you just laugh and you giggle. Oh my God, you laugh so hard, your stomach hurt, like when listening to Bernie Mac. Oh my God, he's so funny. Or it has you crying with, just pure joy, that you are sitting there and your tears is like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, or it's so sad. And then they bring you back around and it has a happy ending. And so think about getting to the happy ending. What is the climax going to be for your life? You have a choice. Are you going to take that walk? Are you going to leave your backpack? Are you going to clear your backpack so you can fill it with new treasures? Because if you start that walk across the other side and you're weighted down and you have all of this stuff you've been dragging with you up until 2020 September, or moving into October 1st, if you still have all that unwanted, I'm sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. If you have all that unwanted baggage still, carrying you, it's going to be a very hard walk. It's going to be very hard to get across the other side. It's like the same metaphor of the mountain. When you're going up the mountain, you want to go up with precision. You want to go up lightly. You want to go up where you get to the top, you have room to fill it with all the blessings and the joy that's waiting for you when you get there. If your bags are, and you can't, litter the mountain. You can't litter the island in between the two sides with your old stuff. You either have to leave it or you have to stay on the other side, but you cannot take it with you. And those things that are not to go with you, I'm going to tell you, things are going to happen. Unfortunately, things are going to happen where you will be forced to leave whether it's employment. Oh, wow, maybe we don't have any more cards. You have to leave employment. You have to leave people. And maybe just for a little while. It may not be permanent. It's just that you can't, or they can't go with you as you walk across the other side. You have to do it alone. And so some people you cannot go with. And, or maybe you will be doing it alone no matter how you look at it, especially if the people haven't done the work. Do you want to be on the mountainside with people who are not prepared? Do you want to be on the mountainside trying to go up and you get to the last mile and the people that are there, or the jobs or the places or the things or the life you were living actually impedes you or kills you, that you can't make it to the top, or you can't make it off the island, or you can't get to the other side of the bridge because they are weighing you down, they are slowing you down, they are pulling you down, because remember, people, we love them, we love them, we love them. But sometimes when blessings are happening in your life, they look at it and they are envious because they aren't there, or they say, what about me? I've had that moment in my life when I had friends who were traveling together and they were all going on this grand trip to Paris, and I couldn't go. And I felt so hurt. I felt so sad. I felt so victimized. Why couldn't I go, God? Why wasn't I going with my friends? I wanted to be there too. And that situation really made me look at myself in the mirror and say, that is not a nice view. And I lost a friend in that process because my envy, my jealousy of the fun I assumed they would have without me was, not fair. And it made me behave in a very unattractive way. And so they didn't need me on that trip. They had more fun, because if that's where I was stuck at, then I was not going to be any good to them on that trip. And I learned that lesson very, very quickly. Our first card from our Mystical Charmin Oracle deck is the Blade. We had this blade before, so it's time for perseverance. Remember, guys, I told you this blade last time it was last week. It is pointed up to the heavens. And we can use this blade in our downtime, in our persistent time, in our time of sleep or meditation. Again, this sword card, this 4. We can use this blade in rest to pull down the heavens, just like he is in a peaceful sleep, even though he's sleeping on top of swords. But over top of him is the Greek symbol for Christ. And he also has the blood of Christ, as well as the resurrection of Christ, waiting for him as he sleeps. So it's sort of like a death has to happen in order for us to have a resurrection. Things have to die so that we have room to pull down all the blessings from heaven to help us get to the other side, to 2021, the Blade. Oh, our next card is the Beloved. I love, love, love this card. It goes right along with that card again, with the blood of Christ, the heart of Christ. Calvary was in the Bible, whatever version of the King James Bible, on Calvary, That is where Christ, Jesus, was led to a crucifixion. And he died on the cross for our sins. But the beloved started that journey to love us in the upper room when he gave the 12 disciples his body, his blood. The beloved loves us so much. We are the bride, and he is the groom. Through the Trinity of God. And when I see the beloved, I see all three in this card. I see the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The beloved loves us so much, guys. So when changes are happening in our lives, the beloved is recognizing, that we need to move towards him. And choices. We started this off with the number 2 day. This is a number 2 day. You do have a choice. And your choice is to accept the beloved and its divine nature, or move away from it. It's either the path to love or the path you go backwards. You turn around and you run, or you don't have faith, because the beloved can be the love of a parent, the love a child has for a parent, romantic love. It can be the love that a wife and a husband share, or a couple share, friends share. But Spirit's type of love is not the kind of love that you fall out of. You don't fall into it and then decide it's not working out, I don't love you anymore. The beloved type of love is unconditional. No matter what is happening in your life, no matter how many changes happens in your life. Because even if you said to him today, I choose not your path, but I'm going to choose the path to go the other way, he is still going to be waiting for you. Because this is not a fall in, fall out kind of love. When you love your parents, do you fall out of love with them? When you are a young child, you go through changes or stages where, oh, my mom gets on my nerves because she's telling me I can't do what I want to do. Or my dad is, he's never home. He's always working, or, I don't know what's going on with him and my mom, and I just don't like him anymore. But we still have a reverence of love for them, especially if they were in our life in any kind of way. And even if you come from a place where you never knew your birth parents, you still hold inside of you, like there's this little heart inside, that little piece of you for something out there that is bigger than you. And that love is held by Spirit, by the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And he holds all of us. You see these hands? He holds all of us in that love. Because that's what God is. God is love. So when you can love the beloved unconditionally, even when 2020 makes you want to cry, when 2020 hurts, when things are happening in your life and You don't understand, why, God, why? Just know He loves you, and He's doing things behind your back that you can't even dream for yourself. And so if you stay on path and if you follow the spirit of love, if you try to behave and act, and I'm not saying it's easy, when things get tough or you find yourself at war because of Aries, the Mars planet, that you find yourself at war with everyone in your life or around you, remember, you still have to bring it back to love. When this is all over, hopefully on the other side, we'll be embracing each other and ready to share our bounty that God has beloved us with. Our next card is the rattle. Oh my God, these cards are the same cards we had last week. The rattle, wow, 7. We are confident in where we're going. If you're not, remember, I said, shake it at the earth. Ask the earth, spirit, shake that rattle, because shamans use the rattle to call spirits, to say in the 4 directions. Remember the 4 directions. We have the air, we have the water, we have the earth, and we have the fire. And when you shake it in those 4 directions, when you go around that circle of life, that wheel that's constantly turning, and we've been talking about those energy chakras that is in our medium, that runs down the spine of our back. When we have all of those elements in flow, like the Queen of Cup, like she's just chilling like the mermaid in the water. She has the ocean in command, meaning she has her emotions in command. And so even if a fire was to burn above the surface, she would not panic. If the earth itself was not below her feet, as she swims down into the ocean, it just appears to be never ending. She does not panic. If she comes out of the water and it's so windy that the waves are thrashing her all over the place, she is calm. She is not caught in thought. She is not burning in passion. She is not drowning in water. She is not sinking in the sand. And so this rattle, guys, it's a tool to the spirit. It's just a tool. Last week, I kind of got up and grabbed my rattle and, to show you how to shake it. And this one is like a teeter-totter, where it just twists. It's like the axle of the earth, how the earth turns on this axle. And so just think of it. You can imagine it, even if you don't have a rattle or a baby's rattle or a ball with beads inside of it that you can shake. You can literally just shake your body in song and spirit and dance, 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 dance to spirit and ask spirit for the highest good for us all. Ask spirit to provide for us to make it through 2020. And in prayer right now, like I said, that sword, guys, take time to just chill right now and see and have the clarity and the knowing that October, you know where you're going. You may not know how you're going to get there, but you know you're going to get to 2021. And you're going to start gathering and cultivating your harvest, because those blessings in October are going to start to show up in abundance. And if they're not, then you may have to take a little bit longer in this preview to have understanding of where your choices did not aid you in moving forward. And when I say choices, again, it's purging. It's taking it's like taking an evaluation. It's like looking in your toy chest, looking in your tool chest, looking around your life and say, do I need this? Or is this excess baggage? Is this room that can be used for something else? Because if your room is cluttered, if your heart and your mind is cluttered, and you're not at peace, you're not in flow, you're not in balance, then you're going to miss it. You're gonna stutter. You're going to delay. And then you have to start back over on that wheel. You have to go right back up to the north and come down to the south and then try to go through the west and come back over again. And then you're going to watch how everyone else in 2021 are going to start to harvest. Their movie will begin. Their movie will start to play. And that is not the time to feel left out, to feel left behind, to feel hurt or jealous or why not me. If you are doing your due diligence in prayer, in meditation, spending that time with Spirit, spending that time with God, spending that time here on earth. Last card. We had this card last week. I can't believe this. The only new card is the Beloved. Oh my goodness. Earth represents the gift of life. Remember I was talking about this card with the colors? Do you see the colors in that? It's like a feminine energy of Mother Earth, where her roots of all the colors of nature, all the colors of the rainbow, this body or this plant or this planet called Earth, or the human body, is nature itself. When you look into nature and at all the creatures, there's a birth. And right now, you must endure the messiness of 2020, of this preview, so that when 2021, starting in October, will start to set the credits rolling, or the opening act, you will be able to see your opening act for 2021 will start to appear. And if you are assured that this invitation, that you have the gifts ready and prepared, that you have compassion, you have love for yourself. Are you stuck? Have you figured out a way to unstick yourself, be unstuck? These are the choices. 8 is advance. We are rapidly moving. We are growing. Our roots, you see the roots. The roots are thriving. The roots are rooted in earth. The element of earth is practical. The element of earth is persistent. The element of earth is methodical. When you're making the choice, you have to which path. One path is life lessons. The other path is destiny. That is the choice. Which path do you choose? I'm going to leave it right there, guys. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. I love you all. And I hope you love me back. Please pray for me. I'll pray for you. Until the next time, Namaste.